Welcome to this week's podcast, and pretty hot topic to talk about this week. We're going to talk about 3 things you can do in the next 24 hours to increase a credit score. One of these are going to be obvious for you lenders out there, but the other two are got a little wrinkle, a little different to them, and the top two actually don't even cost any money. So let's go ahead and dive in. First, you guys probably all know the number third best way to increase a credit score is all of these are going to be around the utilization, right? It's going to have to be the utilization ratio, which is the balance in which the available credit you have compared to the amount of credit you're actually using. So whenever you lower that utilization ratio, credit score goes up. It's more favorable to the credit score. So a lot of times people don't realize that has an immediate impact. Unlike adding a trade line, unless it's an authorized user, which is the third best way to increase a credit score, is partnering with somebody when it comes to an authorized user. Not a third party. Don't pay for that. It's actually illegal. But reach out to a friend, a family member, somebody that's got a vested interest in this person's ability to get a mortgage and wanting to help. A lot of times it's much better to ask to be added as an authorized user than it would be to be added as a cosigner, right? So have that conversation, coach them along that way. The person doesn't have to have the card carrying around in their wallet, that it gets sent to the issuer of the card, not the authorized issuer. Don't even have to have access. What you're needing is the commitment from the cardholder to allow to add them, and they're going to get all of the previous history. So somewhat remedial, I know. You LOs that are watching like, no thanks, Captain Obvious, but got to put it out there because it is a good one. It is an easy way. Only way you can improve upon that is coaching the person on what they're asking for, right? Coach them on how to ask about being an authorized user, so the person that they're asking realizes they're not going to have access to the account and run up the credit card, right? It's just needing that reporting. But the number 2 way that we coach here at Credit Law Center is credit line increases, right? You want to be careful in doing this. You got to have a pretty solid profile. You want to make sure you're going to get approved, that you're not just adding another inquiry. But a lot of times, looking to just get a better mix of credit and more available credit helps that utilization, and that can be more valuable than adding a new trade line that could cost you, right? That you can have a negative impact on the score sometimes of opening up a new account because it changes the average age in file. But the wrinkle I look at this is looking for that credit line increase. Sometimes you can get credit line increases without an inquiry. Make sure you ask, right? But also look at it this way. Look at blending credit. A lot of times you've got a husband and a wife that don't have joint accounts on everything. The wife may have a credit card that the husband doesn't. Get creative. Look at doing a balance transfer from one spouse's card to the other spouse's card, right? What happens when you have a high balance on a credit card and pay it off? The credit card company increases your limit, right? So you can get that limit increased, right? And then do the reverse effect, take that balance, go back from the spouse that you transfer the balance to transfer back to the new increased credit limit. You've got more available credit, and you've done it on both spouses. So we call it blending credit. So look at that overall credit report with, if you have 2 borrowers involved, and make sure that you don't have or if you do, capitalize on a balance transfer from one spouse to another, get that credit score increased, ask for the increased credit line after you've transferred the balance. They're going to give it to you because that's what credit card companies do when you pay down balances. Then transfer that balance back, right? A lot of times you can do this at no cost and even take advantage of 0% on balance transfers. So a lot of different options to do that, and it doesn't actually cost any money. Authorized user shouldn't cost any money. If it does, you're probably breaking the law if you're paying for it. The number 2 is that credit line increase, blending between the 2 spouses. The number 1 reason or way in which we utilize it is through our Credit Armor product. Credit Armor has Score Boost. And Score Boost actually tracks the date in which your credit card companies update to the credit reporting agencies. Now, why is that important? The reason that is so important is because the report date is not only prior to the due date, but it's even prior to the statement date. So even if you're paying your credit cards off every month and you have your credit report pulled, you're going to see whatever usage you had that month. Whatever you used on that card that month, that balance is going to show. Even if you're doing an automatic payment paid in full on the due date. And that's because the credit card company is reporting prior to the due date and even prior to the statement date. Now, credit card companies are doing this on purpose. They're doing that because there's so much work and cost in them to go out and generate this account and generate the debt. They want to keep it with themselves, right? They don't want you to bounce from card to card to card. And that's why, because if they can show a balance on somebody that pays their credit cards off every month anyways, that's going to hold down that score. So if you are a consumer and you are paying your credit cards off every month on the due date, you've got points available on your credit score. If you're a lender and you're seeing people that you're like, hey, I've got to qualify you against that credit card balance, you're like, I pay it off every month. It's this, it's that, or it's a business account, right? That's impacting the utilization ratio. So all three of these things we coach when consumers come to us in order to improve their credit scores, which are for the vast majority are trying to get a mortgage. So we coach on this. You loan officers can use all three of these tools. Again, all three of these don't really cost any money. Changing the date in which you pay your credit cards, looking at blending the credit and getting balance transfers, because if you can get the limit up, that's the same thing as getting the balance down, and then looking at being added as an authorized user. So hope you find these tools helpful. Use them. Communicate with your consumers. If you have any questions on this or would like to see more about trying to find out when credit card companies report rather than what the due date is, reach out to us. We'd love to show you Credit Armor. We can give access to all three credit reports for just $1 and the best pay by date on all credit cards, along with helping anybody and everybody with any issues on their credit report. So hope you found this information helpful. If you want more about this, please just shoot us an inquiry, give us a call. We'd love to talk more. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next time.